Welcome all. Thanks for sticking around in this sort of surprise event. Was a little bit of a secret, of course, and we couldn't say too much about it. And congratulations to Max.
Thank you so much.
You are now officially the fastest growing startup in Europe.
Exactly, yeah, great honor.
How did you celebrate?
Last night a lot, so I'm happy this talk started at 12 and not earlier. So but no, it's a really team effort, and big thanks to the whole team in Frankfurt and for a few years of hard work.
So Emma only has been around for 2.5 years. You now have 160 people working for the company. So you basically have been growing at a very, very rapid pace, which gave you the title to begin with. Maybe tell us a bit more about your backstory, because I can imagine mattresses tend to not be the most sexy product, at least in itself. They're not. So what happened? Like, why did you start this business? How did you start selling mattresses?
So when you think about the last mattress you bought, then it's like really not a fun experience, right? So most people, they take like multiple weeks, they walk into many different stores, they lay it down on like dozens of mattresses and have really the hard time finding the right mattress, while it's such an important investment, you know, you sleep on it for over 10 years. So we saw that in the market there really was an opportunity for an easier, more convenient solution that people can buy mattresses from. So that's how we created Emma, right? One mattress that fits more or less everybody, no matter what like body type or sleeping position you are. Most likely Emma, you'll sleep comfortable on Emma. And then very convenient services, so you can easily buy it online. We ship it in a small box for free, and at home you can test it for a full 100 nights, and if you don't like it, we'll pick it up and give you the money back.
Yeah. Okay, so but right now there are, I think, about 12 online mattress companies, and when you started 2.5 years ago, you also weren't the very first. What made you decide to just go for it anyways?
Yeah. No, in Europe we weren't the first, but with me and my co-founders, one of my co-founders, he has some great experience in the mattress industry, so we decided, okay, let's try this, and we saw the opportunity, and in the end, what really helped us over the years was always focusing on our customer and listening to our customers' feedback in terms of optimizing the product and making a product that our customers love, and so we take a lot of time to invest and optimize the product.
Yeah, because you are currently in 27 countries.
No, 14.
Oh, sorry. Even more rapid growth in my mind.
No, there's some way to go.
So, but how did you expand globally this quickly? What did you learn, or what were the main challenges that you came across?
We are now in 14 countries here in Europe. We started from Germany, then growing. We always started small and then scaled up as we saw, okay, this market works very well, we'll start to invest more. This market does not work so well, okay, we maybe drop it. So very agile in terms of how we grow. And what we always try to do is, first of all, understand the market, because every European market has its cultural differences, has its differences. How do people sleep? How do they purchase the mattress? What kind of mattress they sleep on? So we took time understanding the market and actually also localizing our products or services. So for example, in Switzerland, we started to work with a local supplier producing a Swiss-made mattress for the Swiss market, because they prefer a local product. Or in the UK, we saw that the market is much more spring heavy, so our mattress in the UK has a spring core instead of only foam. So that way we localize products, but also then our communication in each market.
Yeah, so you really had to look into the cultural differences of sleep as well, depending on the country that you were selling the product in.
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you reach the customer? Because you're a DTC, direct-to-consumer business. That basically means you have to find them, I guess, through social media, Google.
Yeah, so I mean, our customer life cycle is super long, right? The average person buys a new mattress somewhere every 8 to 12 years. So it's like we see the customer basically only once. So it's important to always to always be there when the customer thinks about sleep. So we put a lot of value on great content marketing, on great building our blogs, building corporations, working together with influencers in social media. That is important to always, be top of mind in terms of sleep. But on the other hand, of course, we use more traditional marketing channels, classical Google AdWords. We do a lot of TV advertising. Yeah.
You're only 24. You are actually, you told me before, one of the youngest people at your own company, or one of the younger people at your own company. What's it like to be the CEO of a company that has people that maybe are twice your age and on average are in their early 30s or late 20s?
Yeah, so I'm definitely younger than our average age. However, I try to not think about it that much. I mean, it's more about how is the mindset of the people, right? So I mean, we have people who are very senior, but who are very dynamic, who are very agile, and who very, work well in our company culture. And we have young people that, are straight out of university, that have a lot of responsibility, but also show great ownership. And that's how they grow, and that's how we bring the company forward. So I don't.
Yeah, so you don't feel that age is really a factor, it matters as much.
Exactly.
Okay. How would you describe the company culture at Emma?
I mentioned agility, and I think that's one of our really core central values. So we are very very agile in everything we do. That's like very little things, constantly A/B testing AdWords and like marketing campaigns. But also that's to launching products. So if we launch a product, then it's not, we launched it and that's it. But then actually the product starts to grow, and it's more of a fluid, constant improvement based on our customers' feedback. And I think that helps a lot this generally is very showing us that we're very agile. But also very performance driven, right? So our customer comes once every 10 years, maybe we have some pillows and some other accessories, and we can extend the customer lifetime value, but generally the customer comes like once or twice. So in the end, what we need to do is very performance driven. So we cannot like invest a lot of marketing budget in invest to the customer because he won't come back. If I have like a more frequent e-commerce, then I can expect that the customer lifetime value is gonna, he's gonna come back every 3 months. But for us, it's more we have to be as profitable as possible with the first order.
Yeah, one of the things that I like, because we've been talking before, is this sort of pragmatic view of how to do business seems to be weaved in every single aspect of your company. So what you explained to me as well was basically when you started Emma, you just saw a niche, something that worked in other countries, and you thought, hey, I can do this in Germany as well, or maybe something similar. Which is really refreshing, because many startup founders really feel the need to have some sort of romantic backstory on why they started a certain product. So that was something I thought was really interesting, but it's also in the company culture, apparently.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we are very pragmatic in everything we do. Actually, we started some of our international markets just with like one mother tongue intern, translating the website, doing the market research, understanding the product, the country, and then as we saw, okay, it grows, we can invest more, but so it's a very agile and pragmatic approach. So if one country doesn't work, then we don't have like any emotions to say, okay, well, we tried our best, but then let's drop it and let's focus on something else. So it's a little bit of opportunistic approach.
Yeah, well, that's honest.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be the biggest mistake or the biggest failure that happened to you or to your company in the past 2.5 years?
Yeah, I think generally we have a very open failure culture, right? So it's more about understanding, making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes every day, and that's totally fine. But it's important to be agile enough to reflect on them, learn from them, and then adapt for the future, that you don't do at least the same mistake twice. And that's how you grow, right? Like learning from your mistakes. But of course, there were some bigger mistakes that that hurt in terms of revenue and like lost sales and so on. I mean, one example we were just talking about was in the UK. We have a local supplier, and at one point, as Germans are, maybe a little bit too pushy. We were very, very driven on lowering the prices, being more efficient. These mattresses had to be sent out faster. And at one point, like, the guy just said, "Okay, guys, I don't want to do this anymore." And he's like, "I'm going to supply you for 1 more month with mattresses, and then you have to find somebody else."
You pushed too far.
We pushed too far,
Yeah.
and that was like was like a super tough time because it's not so easy to find for the certain volume, like just for now, like an equally good supplier, right? So I mean that was a big learning in terms of how to also work together with your partners.
Yeah, and communicate. Okay, yeah, but things can go wrong, and you don't have to have success in every single aspect, so that's fine. How would you describe yourself as an entrepreneur? When was the first time that you thought, hey, I'm pretty successful right now, doing well?
I don't really think of Emma as like my success, right? Because I mean, it's really a team effort. I'm really happy that I can come to work every day, and we have 160 people, and everybody is like dedicated and works hard, and we have an amazing team, and there's just a lot of fun and like motivation for me personally. But of course, like after we sold like over 100,000 mattresses, we throw a big party, and everybody's happy, and that really builds the company culture.
And tell me about the name, because it seems like many mattress companies somehow come up with either a male name or a female name. How did you come up with Emma?
Actually, also no romantic story behind there. We were like, everybody liked Emma, and it was just like came up as more as a project name. And in the end, we were like, hey, everybody likes it. It's super memorable. Everybody can remember it, and it works in every language and every culture. So very pragmatically, we said, okay, let's do it.
Okay.
No big analysis.
Easy decision.
Yeah.
But you just told me that the packaging was really a hard decision to work out.
Yeah, so we put much more time in thinking about the mattress gets shipped in this little box, right? So and we thought, okay, to improve the customer experience while unpacking, to make it more like a Christmas gift, and it's like 4 layers you open like this, and there's like a little pictures and like a little booklet inside, and in the end we worked so much on like how to we didn't want to use any tape anymore, so it's all a mechanism that like where we stick in the carton in itself. There was probably a little bit too much attention on there.
But you're happy with it now?
Yeah, very happy. I don't want to think about it now.
So what about the quantified sleep movement to basically have smart pillows or smart mattresses? Is that something that you're looking into right now, or that you envision for the future? Within our company, we invest a lot into understanding more about mattresses and about foams, about how mattresses are built. So we have engineers sitting in Frankfurt where we can develop and design mattresses in-house and test them. However, for now, it's more like step one, thinking about okay, how do mattresses work, getting more into the detail of like the foams and so on. And then I guess in a few years, maybe 5 to 10 years down the road, yes, we'll have to start thinking about smart beds and like gathering data and like beds that maybe improve switch overnight or somehow firmness or like airflow in terms of depending on how cool it is, what sleeping position you have right now. And then I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 or 50 years down the road, we maybe can rethink sleep overall, right? Because right now we don't even know exactly why the body needs to sleep, and maybe there will be a solution in the far future of where we don't even need mattresses anymore. I don't know. I hope not soon. Yeah, it wouldn't be great for Emma.
No, it would be
that
great.
Happens. Emma is a direct-to-consumer product, or a direct-to-consumer business. And over the past years, we've seen many new startups trying to do a similar product, basically trying to be the next Warby Parker. What do you think does success entail for those companies? What can they do to become successful?
I think it's a few reasons or a few success factors. One is like the one big advantage direct-to-consumer business have especially is the close contact to the customer, right? So we only have a few products and we are very closely connected to the customer. So what we do is we try to really use this for everything we do, right? Because we want to make a product that the customer loves, right? And then I don't do this by just doing it in a small room and by ourselves and we say, okay, now we have the perfect product, but we try to do this as much as possible with the customer together. So as as like our products are out there, we'll try to gather all customer feedback we can through, I don't know, telephone, chat, email, social media is incredibly helpful, and we gather all this data, and then our product development team is very engaged with this data, trying to optimize. So I don't know, in the beginning, for example, we have like a 3-layered mattress. The top layer was a latex layer, which is like actually has very good qualities in terms of like point elasticity. But we got like customer feedback. Okay, people are sweating at night, and like it's a little uncomfortable. So we found an open cell foam we can replace it with, and those kind of changes we really can do because we are so closely connected to our customers. So I think for every direct-to-consumer business, what is really important is like focusing on customer needs and what the customer wants, and listening to your customer. Another point is probably a complementary team. I mean, that's key for every business, but we see it also for us, with us, not only in the management, but also for everybody. The greater your team is, the better. I mean, in the end, we don't have any great assets, right? We have a little bit of website, we have a little bit of product knowledge, but in the end, the team is the company, right? So.
And are there any other companies that you're excited about or that you are inspired by? Maybe specifically in the DTC industry?
Yeah, I think I think the US, like in many things, are a couple of years ahead, and there are many interesting companies coming up there, like thinking about all different kinds of niches, all different kinds of markets. Yeah.
Do you see Emma expanding to the US at some point?
I mean, of course, we think about it. However, the US is, I mean, we don't have any illusions just to, like, you know, if we would say, okay, hey, we take Emma as it is here in Europe and we just go to the US, that it's going to work, right? I mean, we really need to, it's a very competitive market, it's a very big market that is also different in terms of location where you are, and it is it's quite expensive. So we have a lot of respect, but we think about it, but we would need the right story, the right approach, and I think there's for now, we need to do some more research and understand the market better before we can make a decision.
Okay. One of the things that founders have said to me often is when their company grows and they actually become CEOs or managers, those are two very different things. How is it for you? Because now you have a company with 160 people, you are their boss, you have to be managing in some ways, I can imagine. So was it hard to make that transition?
Yeah, I think over time, in terms of people growth, you see a lot of different phases. You have a phase where it is, you know, you're just like, everybody's in one room, 5 to 15 people, everybody knows everything, you don't need really formal structures, team meetings or anything, because everybody knows everything and, like, you know, it's part of everything. And then suddenly you grow to, I don't know, 40 people, 50 people, you're in 2 rooms, you need like little meetups, you need stand-ups or something. And then now, like, we're in a phase again where we grow, I don't know, from 150 to 200 people, and we feel those growing pains, and we feel that we need to manage much more, we need to build up structures and processes, but still in all we do try to stay agile, because, you know, the bigger you get, the more slower also you get, or more inefficient. So I mean, we try to keep really small teams, we build squad teams, interdisciplinary teams that can push forward like specific projects basically, and they are like a little speedboat still pursuing like one goal. So we try to always think about, okay, how do we need to reinvent ourselves in order to, you know, cope with this the size we get, but still being agile.
Yeah, and what's the thing that you look for when you recruit people, when you hire people? Are there any specific traits or specific questions that you ask them during the interviews, or?
I think it is much more important, or like it's not so important what the person has done in the past, right? Like, you know, what field he comes from or what subject he studied, but it's more important, okay, if you have a smart person that is in line with our company values, that thinks how we think, that can work agile and dynamically, that is much more important, and that also works with our company culture. So I mean, I try to understand in interviews, okay, what kind of work does a person enjoy, what kind of work does he not enjoy, also, you know, what does he do in his free time, how does he, you know, can I sit with this person in a room for like 10 hours a day or not, and do I have fun working with him? Yeah.
Yeah, because you do work 10 hours a day or about 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
What do you do to keep yourself productive? Are there certain tools or things that you use, software?
Generally, I think it's I like to make my lists and to-do lists. So I'm this kind of very German. But I think what helps me always is to actually do stuff and be very pragmatic, hands-on, instead of like over-analyzing things. Just doing stuff already helps you being productive. Of course, you have to think about stuff, and I don't mean like doing stuff without thinking, but often I see people overthinking stuff, and sometimes it's just more efficient just to start doing stuff and being pragmatic.
Yeah.
So that helps.
And what do you do to also wind down a little bit, or to keep yourself balanced, keep the work-life balance?
Yeah, what generally think I helps is like having discussions with friends and co-founders in terms of if there's like stress in the company. So really like talk about it, and just if there's an issue, we can talk about it. That's important. And for me personally, I don't know. I like to eat good food. I like to travel. Before Emma, I spent around a year in Southeast Asia, working and studying there. And then I just came back from a congress in Israel, where it was like an amazing country, great food, great people, very interesting culture.
Yeah, just because you say you do like to travel, you're now 24 and you started at 22. Aren't you afraid that at some point you might think you missed out a little bit because you became a CEO of a company of this size, this young?
Yeah.
You have your midlife crisis at 35?
I hope not. But the vacation time is a little short right now, so it gets better a little bit now, but it's important to really keep this work-life balance.
Okay. I'm actually not sure how long are we okay? Okay, thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.